What up, Philosophy fam? I'm Hunter Peterzak.
And I'm Nathaniel Graham.
And welcome to Philosophy for Free. Killed that.
Hey.
So, Nate and I are here currently studying to be doctors of chiropractic. When it comes to understanding what chiropractic is, we should first take a look at where it started.
Yes, we are dedicating our entire Thursday segments to the 33 principles for three main reasons. First, because they're awesome.
Second, because they are the introduction to our textbook for a reason. They are the basic truths, principles, and laws that guide our philosophy, science, and art.
Foundation. And third, because when we hold these abstract principles in our minds, we really get to view the world through the chiropractic lens. So our intention for you is to apply these principles in your daily life, because that's how we learn best, through application.
Well, with that being said, feel free to follow along with the chiropractic textbook. We're going to be on page XXXII 32. Getting good at that. I will be going into details regarding the principles 1824 with the help of my ever so handsome co-host, Nate, who will be introducing the principles. You ready?
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, so first up this week, we got Principle 18, Evidence of Life.
Ooh, evidence of life. So the signs of life are evidence of the intelligence of life.
Correct. And what are the 5 signs of life again?
Okay, so we got assimilation, we got excretion, adaptability, growth, and reproduction.
Beautiful.
Once again, just for the crowd, assimilation, excretion, adaptability, growth, and reproduction.
Dr. Taya would be so proud.
So proud. So we'll talk more about this in detail on our Sunday Live section. But essentially, these signs are what distinguish an inorganic organism or a dead organic organism from an organic organism. Even without elaborating much, it is easy to see that each of these functions working in an organism is extremely important for that organism to express life.
Right, 100%. Something's alive, it's expressing those 5 signs.
Exactly.
So next up, we got Principle 19, Organic Matter. We got Reishi here. Here's some organic matter right here.
Organic matter all up in here.
Hey. So Principle 19 states that the material of the body of a living thing as we know it, is organized matter. Yes, this is a living thing. It's a living. Is organized matter.
Definitely got some organized matter over here.
Yes.
That's right. So living things is put into quotations in the text because now we're talking about things we commonly associate with being alive and expressing the signs of life. So this wall behind me has universal life, but it is not a living thing. It does not express those 5 signs of life. So we're just now getting into our principles that are distinguishing living things from non-living things. Remember how we talked about how intelligence is what maintains all matter in existence by creating force?
I do remember that. And that brings us to principle number 20. What's that one? Innate intelligence?
I think it's innate intelligence.
That's a pretty important one.
Yeah, it's up there. So a living thing has an inborn intelligence within its body called innate intelligence. Innate intelligence is unique to living things. And these living things are expressing those 5 signs of life. And those things are born with it. And once the intelligence leaves, guess what? They stop expressing those signs of life. The matter can no longer assimilate, excrete, adapt, grow, or reproduce. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Like it'd be pretty hard to imagine something dead doing any of those 5 things. That'd be kind of terrifying.
Sounds like a zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
So, I mean, just looking outside through all the fires, like we're getting there. Gives me the creeps. But dead things with no innate intelligence should not and cannot express those signs of life. Innate is a requirement.
Si, senor. And I think that wraps up Principle 20. So we'll jump into Principle 21. I almost said 22. Principle 21 is the mission of innate intelligence. What is the mission? The mission of innate intelligence is to maintain the material of the body of a living thing in active organization.
Active organization.
That's why innate intelligence is here.
Beautiful. So the objective of innate intelligence is to develop your body and sustain it in optimal form. As you recall, the forces of universal intelligence are distinguishably unsympathetic towards matter and serve to break down matter. Innate intelligence, controversially, seeks to provide constructive measures in the body and provide for the best possible structural development. This completes the cycle by providing a localized intelligence of constructive nature. So, question for you: how much innate intelligence is required?
I think it's 100%, but like, let's not jump to any conclusions here. I'm glad you asked, first of all, because I was hunting around and I found principle 22, which is the amount of innate intelligence. We might find an answer here.
So, if we're diving deep into an answer, the amount or quality of innate intelligence may vary from one living thing to another, but it always exists in 100% relationship to that which it's required. So, rewind. The amount or quality of innate intelligence may vary from one living thing to another, but it always exists with 100% in relationship to that its requirements. It is as great as a percentage in a tree as it is in you or in any of your patients. It is not a factor of education and is no greater in a genius than it is in the dim-witted. Principle 7 states that the amount of intelligence of any given amount of matter is always 100% and proportional to its requirements. There is no such thing as a lack or excess of perfection. It deductively follows that innate intelligence would therefore be 100% in every living thing, the requisite amount and proportional to its organization.
Right. So, like, back to that analogy of if I had an arm cut off, I think we did this in a previous episode.
Yes, sir.
I have innate intelligence now. If I lost an arm, the matter that I still have left in my body still has 100% innate intelligence proportional to its requirements, which is essentially what Hunter just said. And that wraps up principle 22. So jumping into principle 23 here, magical number that it is, the function of innate intelligence. What is the function? Function.
Okay.
Function junction.
The function of innate intelligence is to adapt universal forces in matter for use in the body so that all parts of the body will have coordinated action for mutual benefit. So,
coordinated action for mutual benefit. Explain
it's just
a little about that.
Such an important point to pull out of this principle. So, as you know, the purpose of innate intelligence is to build and maintain active organization in the body. But how does this occur? Through what function is this achieved? I'll tell you. Innate intelligence does this by transforming or adapting the unswerving universal forces for use in the body. So left to its own devices, that matter of the body would be broken down by these forces, as would a corpse. Innate intelligence creates constructive forces from the invasive forces of the universe. So this is created in our philosophic sense, which means to invest with new characters. So for example, a musician may create music by having deliberate movements of their fingers along a flute to alter the path of air through the instrument. It is by this investing of the airflow with new characters, different finger placements, that harmonic tones are created, right? So constructive forces are not produced from nothing, they are adapted universal forces. Innate intelligence arranges the universal forces provided into innate forces. These innate forces provide the communication of organization not only to each tissue cell, but also coordinated function for all the cells and tissues into harmony for the betterment of the entire body. I know that was a lot, but that made sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, summed it up right at the end with a wonderful analogy. Thank you for that. You answered my question. I hope it answered yours as well. So this might be our last one for the day, principle 24, and this is a crucial one for understanding our philosophy. The limits of adaptation. Innate intelligence adapts forces of matter for the body as long as it can do so without breaking a universal law. Or you could also say innate intelligence is limited by the limitations of matter.
Limitations of matter.
Limitations of matter.
So, if intelligence is perfect and force is perfect, then there can only exist a weakness of matter to disallow a perfection of function 100% of the time. So, once again, intelligence is 100, force is 100. It's saying that the weakness is coming from that of matter, our physical being. You realize that continual perfection expression would basically create a utopian to some extent, just based upon your own experiences. Have you ever functioned imperfectly? Has your body ever been overcome by a virus such as a cold? Have you ever been sunburnt due to overexposure to the sun? Have you ever fallen off a roof, possibly fractured a leg? Better question is, have you ever had a vertebral subluxation? If you say no, I'm calling you out on it.
Let us check you first.
Let us check you first, especially if you've never been checked. At times, our bodies fall short of adapting to universal forces, right? So these are all examples of how matter falters when competing against universal law. Our bodies are subject to universal law and can only be adapted to the limits of those laws. When you hit the ground from the rooftop, your leg muscles attempt to flex in a coordinated manner to absorb some of that impact, right? And your spine has these curvatures in it designed to allow dissipated forces to protect your brain and your spinal cord. So the leg bones will absorb the energy from the impact by allowing a degree of flexion of the bony matrix. If that impact goes beyond the ability for the body to adapt within the physical universal laws, something has to give. That energy has to go somewhere, and a leg bone may be fractured. Once again, we are all energetic beings, just like the 5 signs of life. We have the 5 signs of life. That is an energetic form of what life is. Once our energetic form is gone, it doesn't just disappear, it goes somewhere else. Just like energy. Energy is never ending. So, all things take time, right? Just like learning and applying this information, try to throw on your chiropractic lens as much as you can, look at the world the way it is, that you see it right now, and then try to switch it up and look at it through a different view, because once you do this, chiropractic becomes crazy on a whole different level. So thank you so much for taking time today to dig in with us on chiropractic. Please, if you have any comments, concerns, constructive criticism, or just want to show us some love, drop it below, hit subscribe, tell your friends, share online, do whatever you got to do. We love you. Remember, anything worth anything is worth doing well. And in the words of BJ Palmer, which I think holds very true to just what's happening right now in our world, nature needs no help, just no interference. That's crazy. Not only does that sound like a spine, it sounds like definition of chiropractic to me a little bit, but
philosophy.
Holy crap. Like if you actually look at the fires going on right now and you look at, basically you just look at the world right now. Like nature needs no help, just no interference. We are the interference. We are causing a subluxation of the world.
Let's correct that thing, eh?
Yeah, let's do
correct
it.
that thing together.
So lastly,
thank you for joining us
at Fail for Free. Damn, so close.
We were close, but
we tried. We got the intro.
For free. Thanks for being here.
Right?
Yeah, we got the intro.
We got the intro.
So rewind, see the intro, and then close out the video.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.